Mal closes in on grieving Bernie in Coronation Street as her secret threatens to explode. Bernie Winter Allahan, Jane Hazelgrove, is carrying a secret, and it's one that could cost her everything. For months, Bernie has been trying to hold herself together, to keep smiling, to keep showing up as the rock for everyone else. But now, that carefully constructed front is beginning to crack. And just when she can least afford it, the person who knows the truth has resurfaced on Coronation Street, threatening to detonate the fragile piece she's been clinging to. Because Bernie's guilty secret, it's not locked away in the past. It's walking the cobbles. A marriage that's weathered storms, now facing its most dangerous test. Things haven't exactly been smooth sailing for Bernie and Dev Allahan, Jimmy Harkishan, lately. The delightfully mismatched romance has brought plenty of joy to Weatherfield, ever since their calamity-filled wedding, where everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Yet despite the differences, Bernie and Dev have always had something that works, a warmth, a loyalty, and a deep affection that has kept them together even when life has thrown its worst at them. But cracks began to form after Bernie's well-meaning meddling in the life and mental health of Dev's daughter Asha Allahan, Tanisha Gori. That interference left Dev furious and the couple on shaky ground. Now, they're back on the rocks again, not because of meddling, but because of grief. Billy's death sends Bernie spiraling into darkness. Bernie has been struggling to contain the pain of losing Billy Mayhew, Daniel Brocklebank, who died in the devastating Corriedale crash. His death hit her especially hard because Billy wasn't just a friend, he was effectively family. Billy was the husband of Bernie's son, Paul Foreman, Peter Ash, who passed away after a long and heartbreaking battle with motor neurone disease. In the wake of Paul's death, Bernie and Billy grew closer, bound together by love and loss, and by the shared knowledge that grief doesn't vanish just because time passes. Now Billy is gone too, and Bernie has been left staring into a second emotional void. Executive producer Kate Brooks recently teased that Bernie's grief would take her story into a new, and far darker, direction. Bernie is brilliant, she's such a fun character, Kate said. She's really stoic. She's watched her son die, which was horrific, and now she's having to come to terms with the fact that Billy has also died. The thing with Bernie is she wants to take care of people, she wants to be people's rock. As a result of that, she's buried a lot of grief. If you cast your mind back to when Paul died, it was very rare that we saw Bernie lose it or burst into tears. She was strong for everyone and the strength of that whole family, Kate added, so we wanted to explore what would happen if she had to deal with another really tragic death and how that grief manifests. We take Bernie on a really interesting journey as she struggles. It gets to the point where, because it's been bubbling for such a long time, it actually kind of erupts. When it does, there's consequences for Bernie. It's not as straightforward as Dev sweeping in and making everything okay. It's a really muddy, murky story that we take her on, and we see another side to Bernie that we've not seen yet. A funeral, a meltdown, and a night Bernie can't erase. With one of her closest confidants gone, Bernie's grief finally boiled over after Billy's funeral. In raw emotional pain, she lashed out at Dev in anger, and then stormed off, choosing escape over explanation. What followed was a reckless, boozy night out with her daughter Gemma, Dolly Rose Campbell, Sally Metcalf, Sally Dinover, Glenda Shuttleworth, Jodie Prenger, and Christina Boyd, Amy Robbins. It wasn't just a few drinks. Bernie drowned her sorrow with shot after shot, spiraling further with every glass, until she ended up in a hotel room with a stranger, Tim Treloar. And while, Bernie, fans can breathe a sigh of relief, Bernie did not cheat on Dev, the situation was still dangerous. Mal tried to kiss her. Bernie pushed him away. But in her drunken haze, she did empty the minibar, and she popped a pill with her new friend. It was a moment of self-destruction, not romance, but it was still a betrayal of her own values, and the secret she never intended Dev to know. After being caught out by Ryan Connor, Bernie confided in Gemma, ashamed of how far she'd fallen, and swore it would never happen again. Besides, what were the chances she'd ever see Mal again? Well, this is Coronation Street. Mal returns, and he's closer than anyone imagined. In a twist worthy of Weatherfield itself, Mal isn't just some random stranger Bernie met on a bad night. He's the husband of Roy Croppers, David Nielsen, mysterious pen pal, and potential new romance, Alice. Suddenly, Bernie's secret isn't safely sealed away in a hotel room. It's tied directly to Roy, to the street, and to her everyday life. Even worse, Mal has left his wife and planted himself locally, landing a job as an electrician. Meaning Bernie will be seeing a lot more of him. And if there's one thing Corrie fans know, it's this: secrets never stay buried for long. Sparks fly as Bernie tries to keep her cool. In upcoming scenes, Mal crosses paths with Bernie again, and the atmosphere is instantly charged. When he turns up in Roy's flat to work, Bernie masks her discomfort as best she can. Panicked, she tries to steer Roy toward a cheaper electrician instead. But Roy refuses, feeling partly responsible for the breakdown of Mal's marriage. Bernie, trapped between guilt and fear, can do little more than watch the situation tighten around her like a noose. Later, she and an oblivious Dev spot Mal at the Rover's return. Bernie discreetly pulls Mal aside, desperate to ensure her marriage doesn't become collateral damage. Mal assures her he'll keep their secret and will be gone once his work at Roy's is finished. But are we convinced? Not for a second. A big New Year story, and a major test for Bernie and Dev. Kate Brooks' recent comments strongly suggest Mal is far from a short-term complication. Obviously it's going to be a test for Bernie and Dev, she explained. They are a really strong couple and no matter what we throw at them, they can overcome because they love each other. They absolutely adore each other. So it's a big test for them, it's a big story for Bernie. Roy's embroiled in that story as well. It's a really interesting one to keep an eye on because it's going to be quite a big start to the year for Bernie. And with Bernie's grief already pushing her toward breaking point, the return of Mal could be the match that lights the fuse and sets fire to everything she's tried so hard to protect. If you've got a soap or TV story, video or pictures, get in touch by emailing soaps@metro.co.uk. We'd love to hear from you. Join the community by leaving a comment below and stay updated on all things soaps on our homepage.